What's up, everybody? This is Eric from Music Computer Solutions, and welcome to Apple WWDC 2019 After Party. Well, I got some favorite guests here, and we're going to discuss what we just saw at this Apple keynote address. Now, this is the Developers Conference. So a lot of people that's Android users that's watching this show right now, they're all kind of shaking their head like, what the hell happened? They didn't announce nothing. This wasn't an iPhone event. Was the Developers Conference. But before we get started talking about the Apple keynote address, I want to introduce a person that hasn't been around in a long time. Emily D. Baker is in the building. What's up?
What's up, guys? I know it's been a hot minute. Sorry. It's been
a hot minute. Wow.
Yes.
But I'm back. I'm glad to be here. And the middle of the day works so well because that was part of the conflict, was timing and family and kids and all of that stuff. So I'm glad to be here. And I'm unfortunately hopping off a little bit early because I have physical therapy because I had knee surgery. So, it just is what it is.
Well, your presence is always welcome. All right.
To chat.
Yes. And we got LB in the building. What's up, LB?
Hey, what's going on? Easy.
All right. And we got Mr. Catwoman in the building. What's up with
up?
Yes, sir. I am here. I am representing the average people because, there's a couple of things I liked, but I was confused on the whole finger and this and that. Three fingers, 2 fingers. I thought about 1 finger.
Look,
but
everybody knows it's 2 fingers, man. It's 2 fingers.
Yeah,
at least.
And shout out to TK. TK is in the building. What's up?
What's up, Emily?
All right. So let's get into it. WWDC, they kicked it off with tvOS, multi-user support for Apple TV. What y'all thoughts?
I love this because I use Apple TV every day. I use it at home. I use it with my kids. And the top of Apple TV shows what you've been watching. So my kids are like, I want to watch Dead to Me. Can I watch Game of Thrones? I'm like, no, you can't. But at the top of Apple TV, it just pops up the last thing you watched. And so my husband and I are always the last ones watching TV, and it's up at the top. So to be able to have a kid mode and a mom and dad mode will be amazing. And you couldn't do that until you get multi-user support. So I'll be able to content restrict them a little bit more, not just inside of Hulu and inside of Netflix where they can be content restricted, but inside of YouTube. This bugs the crap out of me. My kids go to show something to their friends on YouTube and it starts screwing up my YouTube because they're in my account, because that's what's signed on Apple TV. And I'm like, I don't need 9,000 Minecraft videos. Stop using my... So it'll be really nice to be able to restrict some of those things for my kids, because at 11, I don't need my kids and his friends thinking they're funny, searching all kinds of mess on unrestricted YouTube. So I'm really excited to have multi-user support in Apple TV, in the TV app. It's one of the most exciting things because the TV app functionality is fantastic. I don't know what you guys think of it. Are you guys using it?
Yes. And so one of the things that I was excited for when this comes later on this year is about the gaming platform. And it's going to have support for Xbox and PlayStation controllers, which that is a huge thing, especially when you have more than 100 games that's going to be supported. And these games look good. I ain't going to lie to you. These games are going to be very detailed, a lot of graphics, a lot of stuff like that. So I'm excited to hook up my PlayStation controller gamepad for the gaming support that's going to be on Apple TV. That's going to be nice.
Once they get the Switch controllers in there too, it'll be fantastic.
Yes.
Wow.
That's if Nintendo lets them do it, though. That's going to be the problem.
Yep. Nintendo locks it down.
Yes. LB, did you watch the keynote address?
Yeah, I watched it.
So from an Android perspective, anything that kind of excited you about any iOS stuff that you saw?
Not in particular, because they pretty much just duplicated everything that we already have.
But for iOS users, they didn't have this stuff. They didn't have dark mode, and they don't have stuff like that. What we have on Android. So for iOS users, they're jumping for joy right now.
Well, at some point they're gonna finally get their money's worth.
Well, let's talk about iOS 13. They claiming that it's going to be all about performance. We already knew that dark mode was coming. They say that Face ID will be 30% faster than previous. They bring in HomeKit security, which is nice because instead of going through the cloud, it's going through Apple servers, which you all know Apple servers are locked down. So that's going to be nice for security. They also revamped the map. Oh, about time.
The map.
Yo, Google gonna have to step their game up if the map. But there's a difference between showing it on stage and using it in real life. So we'll see.
It's true. We've come a long way since the map used to drive you off of roads and stuff because it was wrong. We've come a long way with Apple Maps.
Or try to navigate to the Walmart and it take you some random old person's house. You're like, yo, this is not the Walmart.
Yes, the old days. R.I.P. old Apple Map. I don't miss the drama. I'm excited for dark mode. I got to be honest. Like, this is one of those quality of life things for me. I use dark mode exclusively on all of my other products. I was waiting for it to come to iOS. Every app that has dark mode is in dark mode. It's just so much easier on the eyes for me and for my kids. So I'm really, really, really excited with dark mode. In the chat, they're talking about Waze being awesome. Waze is awesome. I imagine Apple Maps will start crowdsourcing traffic. I live in Los Angeles, so for me, Waze is kind of life because any given day, you need to drive a different way based on traffic. But that Apple Maps, when you're walking around a new city, is so helpful.
Yes.
So I gotta say, I want to give, like we were talking about this pre-show, and I have to agree with Emily that I'm so happy that they finally brought dark mode. Again, I want to give a very special round of applause and a big salute to Apple for stopping their racism. We've had white mode now for like 11 years, and they finally went ahead and included black mode. And I also agree with Emily. Yes, when you're looking at black mode, it is much easier on the eyes. So big shout out to black mode, which is now available on iOS.
Right. But you know what's so funny? This is the most funniest thing. And Apple keynote address do this every year. They always talk about the install base on iOS and Android, and they kick Android in the nuts every year with this. The install base on iOS devices is 97%, right? That all their devices up to date, 97%. And on Android, it's that's running Android Pie, that Android Q is coming out in a few months. It's only 10%. That is so ridiculous for Android having this. Let Apple just kick them in the nuts year after year after year when it comes down to the install base. That Android has to do something about this.
But it's funny because they say, "Oh, go. I'm sorry."
Those numbers are so important at a developer conference because part of what you're doing with the developers is reaffirming their choice to be there. It's expensive to get to WWDC. A lot of these developers are Apple exclusive developers, so it's really important to look at your base of supporters and say, "Yo, you're making the right choice." Because when you make an app for iOS, most users are up to date, and that is a huge thing for developers. They don't have to fuck around with 9,000 different operating systems. They can make it for the latest and greatest, make it compatible back one if they want, and that's it. So, yeah, Android deserves to be kicked in the nuts about that.
But it's funny because they say, "Oh, there's only 9% of people on Android Pie, and by the way, here's 3 Android features that we're going to be introducing to iOS this year."
Exactly, and that's what I was about to say. Is that okay? At some point, we got to stop chasing the fact that they are one device for one OS and it's exclusive, and look at the fact that, okay, yes, there's a lot of devices that don't have Pi, but how many of those people out there outside of the tech and the developer community actually care? I mean,
the developers care. The developers care.
The developers care. And this is a developers conference.
Right. This is the developers. Right. This is the developers conference. They have to put code in. See, here's the thing. when we not talk about when we talk about the developers company, we're not talking about average users. We talk about guys that developing apps and updating the apps and making new apps. So it becomes a big deal. Think about it. If you was developing an app for Pi, right? That means that you only gonna get 10% of your install base is gonna be able to use your app. Well, fuck that! You can't get paid off that.
Right. And
So-
some of it's not the
Eric,
that's not all Android's fault. Some of that is the phone companies that aren't allowing and pushing the updates. So it's a bigger issue than just it being an Android issue, because sometimes the phone companies don't allow the updates. So it's a larger problem for developers.
Yeah, and that's the main problem with it is the carriers are the biggest holdup. But the thing about it is this, okay? At the end of the day, all right, because like for me, I'm gonna take myself as a user. If Apple had came on stage and said, "Oh, and guess what? You can be watching YouTube and picture in picture." Okay, then I would have got a little giggly, a little bubbly on the inside because I can watch YouTube and fight on Twitter with TK at the same time. You know, but they didn't do that. So this developer conference lets me know that the next iPhone is going to give me a whole bunch of nothing other than they might give us some miraculous camera features, which they'll still be catching up on that. So at the
Uh-oh.
Apple doesn't start, at some point, Apple doesn't start offering something else to their users, okay, you're going to get some drop off. And then
hold on, Barry.
I guess that's drop off like him, right? His phone.
But look, here's the thing, LeBaron. The biggest issue is that when you look at the difference between iOS apps versus Android apps, which one is the most polished? See, when we talking about the most polished app, we're not talking about what Apple bringing to the table. We talk about what works, and that's the whole thing. So when you look at different apps, and look, a lot of people in the stream can admit that iOS apps looks better than Android apps. That's a fact.
And they're not fractured, and you don't have to worry that they're going to break your phone or install malware or open up a portal to.
Well, that's also because Apple is much more restrictive in what they allow, and they actually do extensive testing. So, like I was going to say, like as an app developer, I'm going to keep it real. Like I make more money off of my AdMob install base on Apple apps as opposed to Android apps, but I have way more installs on Android. So it's hit and miss. I actually get paid a little bit still from Windows Phone, but that's going to die in December. But, I mean, as an operating system, because they're only manufacturing things for, well, now it's forking. Now they're going to have iPad OS or whatever. But Apple just makes it's just much more smooth. It's much more intuitive, and like what I got to see with the new Swift UI and all that stuff, it's going to make coding these apps or building these apps much faster.
Yes.
Wait. I got a question.
Okay.
I got a question for TK and whoever else is an app developer. So would you say, TK, that your time spent on Apple apps is more efficient than your Android apps?
Clearly. Easily.
Clearly? Okay. So then
now I will say this, it's easier to code an Android app because I can do pretty, like it's easier to make an Android app than it is an Apple app because, and here's the thing, Android, people that only develop for Android know this because you can cut corners because nobody's going to slap your hand if there's a bug or something. You can always fix it later on an app. You can't do that with Apple. You have to, it needs to be polished. It has to be correct. Or when you go to click, publish with Apple and they take their up to 21 days to approve you, if they hit you with that Price is Right losing horn, it might take you a month, 2 months, 3 months before they're going to re-review your app. So that's why apps are more polished on iOS as opposed to Android.
Yeah.
Well, Android, this seems kind of dumb, but I'll compare Android as a democratic republic and Apple as a communist country. And apparently communism right now seems to be beating the Democrat Republic for some odd reason. Because Apple, from what you guys have been saying, Apple has a vice grip on every bloody thing they do. You could be a freelancer and Apple will be like, hell no to you. So Android's like, whatever.
See, but I like that, and I will choose it. I am a nerd, but I don't want to get in and mess around with the code and the look of my phone. And while I trust Apple, which is part of it, you have to trust the ethos of the company. While I trust Apple, I'm happy that it's locked down. I know my apps are going to be safe and secure. I know when I use Apple Pay that it goes through a third-party processing, so it's not just sending out my credit card info. I like the way they dedicate to security. I like the way it's locked down. I know if I give my kids an Apple device, I have control of locking it down, and it takes that added stress off. I love being able to block tracking right in Safari. I really enjoy that about Apple. I don't mind it. So that is a choice for me. I will use Apple, even though the phones aren't maybe as innovative as a phone that folds. I haven't gotten to talk smack about that because I haven't been on. So it might not be that innovative, but for me, it is still the phone that I'm going to choose because it does what I want it to do. It's beautiful, and I know that there's a certain level of control that I have turned over to Apple to handle. I need people to handle it. I am busy. I don't have time for it. I don't have time for my phone to break. I don't have time for security breaches. I don't have time for my email to go down. I do not have time for it.
And on the security front, right? Apple is definitely a company where is on the level of like Huawei. I would trust an iPhone as much as I would trust a Huawei device because both of those companies have basically told the U.S. government to pounce in when it came to users' info, especially with apps. I can tell you, and I've talked about this before. You can go back and look at old videos, streams, and stuff I've talked about. Like when people were seeing me at Fort Meade and seeing me up in Virginia, when they were bringing up apps for their conference because they just wanted to talk to us or slide money under the table to put backdoors into our Quran apps or Hadith apps and all this other stuff. If it had anything to do with Islam, they wanted in because they wanted to see who the users were, where they came from, you know, did they message each other, what were their usernames, and they'll pay you for it. Apple is not playing any of that. They don't give any access that way. But on Android, you could put a couple of lines of code into your app from malware, and it will offload that data, all your personal information somewhere else. That's a fact.
Apple will barely respond to subpoenas. Like Apple will go to court and protect their user privacy. I don't know many other companies that will do that.
I mean, they had the couple that killed those people out there where you were at, and they were like, "We need to get into this phone." And Tim Cook was like, "Well, you can hold this L. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want to help you, but nah, if I do this for you, then I got to do it for everybody."
Right. It's a slippery slope, and there's a right way to get into phones, and you can go through a court process to do that. So,
well, I've noticed this with iOS 13 with the iPhone. That they focus more on the millennials, the teenagers, the emojis, and
yeah, that's why they had YouTubers. They had Patrick Moore and what's her name, Desi Perkins up there with their emojis with makeup and piercings, because the iPhone is the old person phone. Like the iPhone's become the mom and dad phone. Like it's not cool. So I think they're trying to get their cool back.
Right. So I noticed that with iOS 13, they're making it fun. They're making it intuitive. They're making, the emojis, and you can put it in iMessage and, the stickers, and you can customize them. They look good and stuff like that.
Oh, like emoji stickers? Like that?
Yeah. So they look pretty cool, and for the ladies, can add lipstick and different color hair and stuff like that. I think that's going to attract the teen. Well, listen, all the teenagers got iPhones. And let's make sure we understand that. The teenagers, the millennials, my daughter probably going to be so excited about iOS 13, because she can see me all these emojis and all these stickers and all this stuff like that. So I mean that's how I got off of iOS 13 for the iPhone. Now for the iPad, thank you that the
iPad's amazing.
Completely up. They make it more intuitive, more business-like, more functionality for that bigger canvas. This is what we've been waiting on for the iPad. Thank you.
Yeah, it's more like a computer. Now I can plug in my damn. Now I might use a DSLR if I'm shooting something, because now I can plug it straight into the iPad and open up LumaFusion and edit right away. Boom, done.
Perfect.
Really cool. You guys,
But
I
easy.
Hold up.
Yeah.
have to
Bye,
bounce.
Miss Emily. We missed
Bye,
you so
guys. I
much.
miss you too. I'll be back soon. We'll talk more.
Okay.
All
Thank
right,
you.
see ya.
Yes.
But
Miss
easy.
Emily D. Baker, everybody.
Yes.
Easy. Did I not predict this last year when they came out with the iPad and everybody was complaining about not being able? They had all this processing power, and I'm like, that's what they're focusing on. They're focusing on that next generation of the iPad to merge it with the desktop system.
Yes, and finally they're doing it because some of the things I see now. One thing that I would argue with is that Apple need mouse support. This is like killing me right now that Apple try to rely on a pencil, and I understand they're trying to sell a pencil a lot, but damn, that's the missing functionality right there to make the iPad the most complete portable computing device. Period is mouse support.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do it though. I don't think that's. I think that pencil is the route that they want to go. That's the way that they want you to use it.
Yeah, yeah. But overall, we got some really good updates. And I was excited to see the iPad get its own operating system. I'm excited to see the iPad get more intuitive, more functionality, split screen. I mean, you could take copy. I mean, look, we can do this on Android already. We not. I'm not trying to compare Android and iOS. It wasn't available on the iPad. Some of the stuff that they talked about. So that's very good. I mean, making the keyboard small, use the Swift key and all that stuff like that. Swipe gestures. That is really good. So it's a really good thing that we start to see there with the iPad. Also, we saw.
Maybe we'll get mouse support next year.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, that's the only thing we missed
Yeah.
on iPads.
Give me a mouse and I'll sell my MacBook right now.
Hey, did you guys ever watch Tom and Jerry, the episode with the little white mouse, exploding mouse?
I seen a lot of Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry was my favorite show, man.
The little atomic mouse, and they were saying that it was nuclear, and they told him that it was a false cause, and he hit it, and at the end of the thing, he was like, "Don't you believe it?" So that's why I'm going to leave you there. I'm going to leave that for you for that mouse support.
Yeah, but here's the thing. With iOS 13, also they bring it to the table is better portraits. They showed off some portraits that the studio portrait mode. They look really dope. They look really dope. I was liking that. And now you can take your video and do video rotation, as you can do some edits inside the video app. So they fixed that a little bit. The Photos app. Oh my God! About time Apple realized that they need to fix the Photos app. So the Photos app has been revamped for days, months, and years. Also, if you have like a child's birthday, obviously you got to be on iOS for a while. But let's say my daughter's birthday and iOS, I didn't say iOS. Yeah, iOS knows that my daughter's birthday is such and such a day. If I go to my Photos app, it's going to give me all the photos of my daughter. That's pretty neat. That's dope.
Sounds like Facebook.
But
Well, yeah, Facebook does that, yes.
Facebook, I mean, Google Photos does that now.
Really? Nah, I never saw Google Photos kind of.
Google Photos sorts my like all of the photos that I have of my family. It automatically sorts it and asks me if I want to create an album.
Well,
yeah, I think you could tag people too with your
you can
with
tag
your phone
people.
numbers and contacts and stuff like that.
iOS doing that on its own. You don't have to create anything, I don't think.
No, but what I'm saying is it'll make recommendations.
Okay.
So the way Google does it is it'll say, do you want to put these all in this? It'll ask you if you want it to do it. It doesn't do it on its own. It'll ask you if you want it, but it is identifying with each and everybody inside your catalog.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about this new cheese grater that everybody posted online, which is the new Mac Pro. Now, last year they gave us a trash can. this year to give it a cheese grater look. Now, you know, here's the thing about the Mac Pro. The Mac Pro is designed not for the average consumer, folks. Let's make sure we understand that. This thing is put Xeon processors in them. So this is not for the average consumer. This thing you can get this thing maxed out at 28 cores, all right? And all the processing power and all the graphics power to run 3 8K streams if you are into movies and stuff like that. That's unheard of. Listen, anybody that does YouTube and you doing 4K editing on your PC, you know how hard it is to render and to try to work with 4K editing. Could you imagine 8K editing on this? I'm blown away with this just because I really, really want a Mac Pro because I can't stand editing in 4K, and it's killing the PC a little bit. But let's talk a little bit about this. The 8K version, the 8-core version with the Xeon processor, starting off at about $6,000, and it comes with all the bells and whistles. That's not the maxed out version of the Mac Pro. Obviously, with the 28 cores and 128 gigs of RAM and all that stuff like that, it's probably going to be up in tiers of $15,000 to $20,000. But you could, what they did with the Mac Pro is they make it a lot of flexibility that you can swap out the I/O and add some stuff to it. And if you want to get the 6K display, the 6K display is an option. And that 6K display is going to cost $5,000. And if you want the stand, it's going to cost you $1,000. A lot of people was like calling out, look, man, if you are in making movies and this is full production type stuff, this is not for the average consumer, folks. This is not something that the average consumer can go out and spend 20 grand on a PC. These are for full production folks that make movies. This is movie editors. This is high-end folks. So I started seeing some memes about the price. Listen, these prices are cheap for big production people. This is cheap. This is not high for those folks.
The way I looked at it like this is, I put a meme out there and said, this is me when everybody gets to doing the fire sale on Twitter and eBay on their old Mac Pros, because that's what I'm hunting for.
Yeah,
Give me the old stuff because I know they're about to go on sale.
Exactly, and that's the same thing I would say. I'll take the trash can at a very discount price because they got Xeon. Listen, man, it's a difference. Look, I'll take the trash can. Them things got Xeon processors in them, folks. I'm not doing 8K editing right now. Listen, I'll take that. If I can find me a Mac Pro that's spec'd out for about $3,000 or $4,000, I'll take that thing quick. All day long.
TK, no, Craigslist is about to be crawling with MacBooks and Mac Pros and monitors.
Yeah, I take a Mac Pro. Look, I said this last year that I was trying to get my Oracle to get me a Mac Pro, and when you're ready to spend $15,000 on a computer, it's a little harder to pass it through the Oracle. But I think with the trash can, maybe by let's say $4,000 or $5,000, I think that's a little more manageable. Because I'm tired. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I am tired of this shit of rendering 4K video on even when I do it on my Mac, even when I do it on my PC. I'm done with freaking editing and stuttering and my rendering problems on a PC. I need a powerful piece. I'm not going to invest that in the PC, but I get a Mac Pro, and I am done. Especially when it comes down to what we do here. I'm doing 4K 60 and stuff, and I'm doing multiple streams. I mean, my PC just can't handle it. So yeah, I need
Eric, you got to get you an iPad and film everything with an iPhone, and then just edit it on the iPad. Then you can go 4K 60, and it takes like 3 minutes to render.
Well, I like to put in, I like to put in effects. I'm doing the green screen effects. I like to put in, and I mean, look, once you put in, color grading and green screen effects and all kinds of stuff, man. Look, I got a PC, man, that's 32 gigs of RAM, i7 processor. I mean, I got high graphics cards in them, man, and they freaking struggle to do my editing, man. It's disappointing sometimes, when I'm doing Adobe Premiere Pro, very intensive. Even when I use my Mac and I'm doing Final Cut Pro, I mean, I need a pro machine bad, So that trash can look really good right now.
You just watch eBay. Give it until about whenever they drop this stuff. Give it about 3-4 weeks after that, and you already know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I mean, I personally wouldn't buy the 8-core process. I wouldn't buy the 8-core. I mean, you gotta need something a little more powerful than that, but because the 8-core 6000. But yeah, I mean, hey, my whole thing with the Mac Pro is that's my dream machine right there.
I ain't never spending no $6,000 on a computer. That ain't never happened.
Yeah,
No.
and that's why I'm thinking, TK, that looking at the last year model with the CPU processor, that was looking more intriguing versus the this year's model. Because I'm not doing 8K. I mean, I don't have cameras. I mean, only
nothing supports everything. Yeah. Everybody's on mobile. Ain't nothing supporting 8K, and there's only one phone that's going to support 4K, and that's the Sony Xperia 1. So, nah.
Yeah. So I agree with you. I mean, if you look at, yes, 8K the future, but not in 2019. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we barely tapping out at 4K right now. So,
hey, well, I sell popcorn. If I mess around and spend $8,000 on a computer, I'm moving to Louisiana, and y'all gonna see me live sitting next to Easy.
Well, wait. Let me get this right. So, the 8-core version of this thing is $6,000.
Yeah.
So, but they showed off the 28 core.
Right. Well, of course.
So you literally showed off a $24,000 desktop, not even showing off the 8-core one. They probably should have showed off the 8-core to justify
they know
the
if they would have showed off the 24-core or whatever the hell it was, that people would be trying to slap their mama, because that phone, that computer probably is like 25,000, 30,000, something crazy. You could buy a BMW, or you can buy this Mac.
Yeah. Look, Apple is a mastermind when it comes to the approach, their sales approach. Now, I don't think there's a company that do it better than they do.
Well,
they know what to do. They know how to get you. They know how to get you in the store. And just think of it this way: if you are that cat, if you are that MKBHD and that Jonathan Morrison or whatever, if you that cat, you already thinking high numbers in the first place, right? So when you walk into that store, you're not even looking at the entry level anyway, all right? And when they get you in that store and they show you, it's like when TK can I know he can associate with this. It's like when you go out there on the car lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
They ain't gonna show you the base model.
No.
They're gonna show you, if that car come in a 6, an 8, and a 10 or whatever, they're gonna show you the 10. They're gonna show you, they're gonna show you the special edition and everything else.
Oh yeah.
So that's the way they work.
Yeah, look at the graphics cards you could put in, and I'm showing everybody on the screen here. You could put the Radeon Pro Vega 2s in there. You could put 2 of them in there. It has up to 28 cores of power. And look at the ports in the back, man. Look at the I/O that you can put in that thing, which is just insane. 300 watts.
Cheese grater.
got a massive heat. It got to have a massive heat sink in it. I'm trying to see if we could. All right, so here we go. So the 28 core could do 56 threads. But look at the 8 core.
Damn.
Yeah, that's really low.
56 threads? Are you serious?
So let's go with let's see if they got the price. That's what I really want to get to here. They let me scroll all the way down. Well, we got. I think I seen it. I think we seen the price here. No, it's just still going into deep. I don't think that Apple put that price up there yet. No.
Not yet. No, not yet. They want you to talk about it first. They want you to validate on it for a minute.
Yeah, let's see. It's tech specs.
Honestly, you know what this is? Honestly, and I know everybody gonna call me a hater. But I love Mac computers. I just don't like iPhones. This is nothing but what the trash can should have been.
Right.
Because this is nothing but what the old Mac Pro could do, the route that they were going. That's it. It's just a retro version. They just sold you a pair of Jordans. That's what they sold. Tell me I'm lying. They just sold a pair of Jordans.
Yeah, I mean, you know, hey, I hear you, man. I hear you. We got a lot of people in the comments. Let's see what they're talking about here. I don't know. I didn't know buy the iPhone XR stand for a PC. And look, here's the thing. With the iPad, you're now able to hand off and use your iPad as a second screen now. So if you was doing something and you wanted to use your iPad as a second screen, that was pretty neat.
Well, hell, I got an app that I could use a second screen for my PS4 on my phone. Like, it took Apple this long to do something like this?
Well, you know how Apple does it. You know, Apple, you know, the thing about Apple, we know that as Windows users and as Android users, we get it first. Let's make sure we get it right. We get it first. We get dark mode. We get wireless charging 10 years ago. We get big screens. We get 2K displays. We get 4K displays. Everything on Android has been out for forever. Apple will always wait, just like foldable displays. You see Samsung come out and fail, and you know, Apple say, "Hey, I told you, we gonna wait 2 years, and then we gonna announce ours, and it's gonna be great." As you notice, even when Apple did say if Apple come out with a foldable phone 2 years from now, and they got everybody in Android already got foldable phones. When Apple come out with theirs, it's gonna be, you know how they gonna make it look so good, and you know, and it's gonna be prime time to be ready to go. Apple ain't gonna make those mistakes that Samsung made. You know, Apple ain't gonna.
You mean like what they did right now with the new iPhones, making the new iPhones look like they got Triceratops with the ugly ass camera on the back?
Yeah, and you know what? And that's a design that I don't understand. How would Apple? And I'm quite sure when the Apple iPhone keynote address, they go spend half the keynote address explaining why that freaking phone looked like.
You know what? I think it's going to be AR. I saw that when they were talking about the new AR kit.
Yeah,
I bet you a lot of that has to do with the AR crap.
I mean, Apple go really. You can see it coming. That Apple go spend 45 to almost an hour explaining why those cameras are where they are. Yep. I can see it coming. The whole keynote address is going to be all about the cameras, because I mean, iOS is iOS. Shit, I mean, ain't nothing different about that, because they had phones running iOS at the keynote address, iOS 13. But I think Apple's taking the risk. I don't know if it's a good risk, because you know a phone don't look that good. But a lot of people say, "Well, easy, what you worried about? We go just slap a case on it." I mean, they'll say that Huawei had that big ass camera in the middle, so why we can't put our big ass camera on the side? So I don't know. Apple ain't the first to do it. Put it like that. All right. So it's just, I don't know, man. I mean, we have to wait and see, and what Apple brings to the table. You know. I don't know. Let's see our comments. What's up to everybody in the stream? Let's see. My 5K Mac works just fine with my 4K. And that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people that got 5K Macs, they gonna be fine. For me, 4K is everything unless if I do a vlog, it's 1080p 60. We got the Big House Production in the building. He said that 51 people watching, only 5 thumbs up. What's up with y'all? Only 5 thumbs up. I should have 51 thumbs up if I got 5 thumbs up. I don't know. So I don't know why I got thumbs up. Don't have 50, but it's everybody hit the thumbs up button. What's up, John, in the building? But what do y'all guys think? I mean, we haven't touched on it. Let's talk about Watch OS. They're bringing a calculator. They're bringing their own dedicated app store to Watch OS. What are y'all thoughts about that? I mean, they have to do something, right?
Wait, Apple Watch never had that before?
Nah, Apple Watch never had its own OS. I mean, it never had its own app store. So they're bringing the app store to the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to do like voice notes, and they're putting the calculator, and they're doing all kinds of stuff with the new Watch OS.
I mean, it's just the iWatch has been one of the. I think that's what it's becoming like the second most successful thing in the last couple of years. So you got to put some attention into it.
Well, they truth to be told that, from what I understand, that the Apple Watch is outselling Android watches 2-1. So they are a big, huge seller.
Right. I mean, and
that's because Android watches are, part of my language, fucking garbage. That's why. Yeah. So until like Samsung still uses Tizen, thankfully, or they did. I don't know about the new one. I didn't buy it because they got rid of Samsung Pay, or the ability to do the Samsung Pay everywhere. So I don't know, man. The Apple Watch thing is cool, but like I don't like the wearable thing is not as important as if they make that like where you can use the Apple Watch as your just primary device. You don't need a phone anymore. All right. But
well, they have the LTE version, which I have an LTE version,
But like if you compare, all right, so if you could make your watch pair with your AirPods, you could iMessage from the watch. You could you could listen to music, but you could start watching YouTube. Not like people are gonna watch YouTube videos from the watch, but if the watch can end up being standalone, all right, then I can see that being like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, a couple of the moves that they made is leaning toward that direction with that whole pass off feature.
Yeah.
So it's leaning in that direction. I think this is like the beginning stages of it.
Yeah. Well, this makes things look a little different here because, like, Watch OS. I mean, this is the same thing that happened when the first iPhone came out. When they came with the iPhone, then the iPhone 3G, they bought the App Store, right? And then when they got the iPhone 3GS, they focused more on speed. And then with the iPhone 4, you had antenna gate, so we could bypass that one. But you started noticing that it's Apple take their time. They go through a lot of generations before they make stuff right. So iOS 13 to me, along with Watch OS, I just think that they are just optimizing the current operating system. Like they're just making it faster, more efficient. Dark mode is going to save a lot of battery life. Face ID is going to be faster. Stuff like that. So that's the only thing we seeing what Apple is doing. They're just making something that's good better. They're not adding. A lot of Android users always complain about why Apple don't let you customize the home screen. Why they not add widgets and all that stuff. Listen, Apple people don't want that stuff.
Well, that's why they put it on iPad. Now next year we'll get widgets on the home screen on the iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll happen next year.
And the thing is Apple is not going to do anything that they don't have to do. If it's not messing with their bottom line, they ain't going to do it because they want to sell it to you over time. So they're not going to put all their eggs in one basket. They're not going to. Apple is successful for not giving you anything that they ain't going to make you pay for. That's just it. Because
I mean, they got a fan base. This is truth to be told. Apple has a fan base that's die hard, right? I mean, they no matter what you say or no matter what Android folks call iSheep or this, that, and other, people gonna buy the next iPhone. They gonna be waiting for it. They gonna buy it no matter what. They don't care if the camera looks like crap. They don't care about that. They love their iPhones, and a lot of things that people complain about with the iPads, I believe Apple is fixing. A lot of people complain about that the iPad need to be dedicated and have a lot more functionality. You got a 13-inch tablet with no functionality. If you put all this power, I mean, they talk about how all this power is in the iPad, but you're not utilizing nothing of it. So I think this here is going to utilize the power that they all brag about, that this iPad can do everything. It's powerful enough to be the win all be all, but now we're gonna give you the functionality.
Well, look, the OS, the iPad OS, the MacBook OS, the Mac Pro OS, the MacBook Pro and stuff like that. Everything was fine and dandy. I heard did you guys hear the crowd cheering on?
Yeah.
Hercules.
Yeah.
But they damn near slapped the piss out of that guy when he said $9.99 for a stand.
Yeah. And you know what? That right there, that's Apple showing you that they letting their nuts hang, that we could charge you whatever we want and you go buy it. Because you're not having a Mac. How the hell you go buy the display without the stand? So you're gonna spend $5,000 because it's $49.99 for the display, but you got to spend another $1,000 for the stand. That's how Apple say, hey, you won't be a big dog. You want this 6K monitor? You got to spend $6,000.
But I wish the 6K monitor could use I wish that could be a touch screen, because that would have been nice.
Apple is not into the touch screen. They're not all this touch screen, even with their Macs, man. They don't want touch screen. They want these Macs to be pro devices.
Hey, I bet you one thing, and I got to give Apple credit for this. As being an entrepreneur or business owner, I'm not mad at them. I bet you any amount of money, I know at least for the first year or so, if you think you're going to get that monitor and try to get an aftermarket stand, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. You're coming out of that door.
And guess what? You go void your warranty with it, because you know what they're going to have some small print in there that, you could buy a third-party stand, but if that monitor fall or break or something happen, it's cracked the back or something, you're not covered underwater. Your $4,000 gone.
Oh, yeah. I gotta give it to them. They're gonna have Apple saying this is our corner and can't nobody do nothing on it.
It's gonna be proprietary. I mean, Apple does this, man. This stuff gonna be proprietary. Listen, Apple. How long did it take for Apple to open up, even when they put USB Type-C on their new iPads, for them to now start recognizing thumb drives and hard drives, and now you can put your camera in there and all that stuff like that, because they wasn't ready for it. They didn't want that at first, So now you got this that one folder that when you plug in a thumb drive, that folder that's the only folder you could access the thumb drive. You can't. It will not go beyond that one file, that one folder. So if you think that you could plug up and just like with Android, you can copy and paste to your home screen and all that stuff. No. That's going to be dedicated. Now you can make probably folders within that folder, but as far as outside of that folder, that's going to be locked down right in that folder. Now, as far as pictures and photos, you might could get away with putting that into your main camera app. But as far as, everything else, documents and all that stuff, I think that's going to be what it is. I don't know.
Hey, what about that, the AR?
AR was dope. Apple been working on this AR as Android kind of getting away from AR. Apple really been, every year, they've been focused on AR and stuff like that. You notice the last couple of keynote addresses, Apple really been focused on AR. They took the iPad last year and they had AR, all kinds of games playing. And now they just take it to the next level. Because here's the thing, again, it goes back to all the power they're putting in the iPads, all the power they're putting in these iPhones. I mean, the The benchmark numbers is off the charts. It's beating any Android phone out there, but you never utilize the power. So I would believe that now, since you put all this power in iPads, put it to use. Put it to use.
That's been my complaint. That's been my going complaint. Don't give me a Ferrari engine and then give me a lawnmower transmission. And that's been my complaint with the iPhone. You give me this i12 processor and tell me how fast it is and what it can do. And I got guys that got mid-range Android phones with 670 processors, and they multitasking on screen. Mm-hmm. It makes no sense to me.
Wait, are we talking about the OnePlus 7? I'm just saying.
No, we ain't look, that's a sore spot. Let's not miss that one.
Hey, I'm just saying that camera was showing pretty interesting stuff because I could see all your gray hairs and stuff. I was like, damn, look. I was like, damn, that's a good camera right there.
Yeah, but that's the one trick pony. That's the one thing that look, every 3 hours lately, this thing has been doing something else that it ain't supposed to be doing. Like this morning, I went to click back on Twitter, and the top corner of the screen is dead. I recorded a video of it. I don't know if TK saw it.
Hey man, what you got to do is anybody that got problem with their OnePlus 7, man, get them swapped out. Don't wait till after your 14-day return.
Oh, I ain't got no. Look,
mine didn't shit to bed until the day after my 14 days. I was mad. I was pissed. I was hot.
See, Easy, this is why I'm not a part of y'all cash game. This is why, because I don't put no money into this stuff. I pay my little $30 a month, right? And I jump out of my device anytime I want to. So I pay my little $30 a month, and usually I don't put no more than about $430, $500 into the device, and then I just jump into the next device. I don't want to have to mess with trying to sell it or nothing like that. And then that I do pay into it, I'm getting a little bit of a write-off on it, so I'm good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, if you have problems, and this is what I see it on the Reddit forums, and I see a lot of people, and if you within the 14-day return, if your phone, don't matter if it's a OnePlus or iPhone or whatever, and that thing glitch up one time within 14 days, I would give me a new one. I wouldn't even mess around with it. If I see my screen jittery, if I see one thing going on with my phone and I'm within 14 days, oh man, I'm going to get me a new one. Well, if you're your 14-day return policy, I wouldn't. If you like the phone, if you don't like the phone, return it. But if you like the phone and you want to keep the phone and you got problems with screens and cameras not popping up and all that stuff like that, they call T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, say, hey, look, I'm sorry, T-Mobile, whoever, OnePlus.net or whatever. I say, hey, look, my shit ain't working. I need to follow a return, something like that. Just get that done.
Look, I'm holding on to it because all the OnePlus fanboys were telling me how wonderful a world of updates is, and they are all telling me, "Hey, you know what? But it may have problems, but OnePlus, they're going to update it, and it's just going to get better over time." So I'm going to rock this out until that Note 10 drops.
Well, I believe
I'm going to rock it out.
I believe, and I would agree that OnePlus probably rolled out a half-baked software device. I'm a firm believer, and the reason why is because OnePlus dropped 3 devices. You got the OnePlus 7 Pro, you got the OnePlus 7, and you got the OnePlus 7 5G. So they got 3 devices that they rolled out. I don't know if they ever done that before. So if they haven't done so, by them rolling all this product out, they run into problems, and they gonna learn from these episodes that they have to have a little more, I don't know, R&D or maybe some more fail-safe that's going on with the device. But I always say that if you got a problem with your phone, and look, it's always good to bring it to the surface. So when I see TK video, I see all y'all popping videos on Twitter, that brings awareness. So that's good to do that. But when I went over to the
OnePlus forums, there was a bunch of people that it was happening to where their phones died. It happened to Viper, but he was able to, get his to come back. But that's just bad, man. That's just bad, period.
Yeah. I'm like this. Because I'm a little bit more open-minded than what I come off. So I'm like this. I got it. I'm going to rock with it. Because whatever it is I don't think it's a hardware thing, easy. I think it's a software glitch because it's not consistent. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that's just like, okay, that top of that screen is dead. Like now, if I go on Twitter right now, I can hit back. I couldn't for like an hour or two. So I don't know what was happening in the background or whatever that was causing that corner to go dead. But I don't think it's a hardware thing. I think it's something with their software.
Yeah. So somebody got a question here. Will iPhone SE support iOS 13? Probably so, because isn't Apple started re-released the iPhone SE? So yeah, they re-released the iPhone SE. Yeah, it's gonna get support.
How many years old is the iPhone SE?
It's old, man. About 3-4 years now.
Didn't the SE come out when the 6 came out, or the 5?
It's like the 6S, and then they came out with the SE, I think.
Okay, because I think the 5 is supposed to be the one that drops off when the next iPhone comes out. Isn't that how it's supposed to go?
Yeah, I think
they said 5 years back, right? And this year's going to make 5 years since the 5 came out.
Yeah, so I think you would probably get iOS 13 on all those phones. It's probably going to be the last year for iOS 13 on the SE. But hey, think about that. I mean, a 5-year-old device, 4-year-old, 5-year-old device with the latest and greatest software. Can you name any Android devices that's 5 years old that got Android Pie?
If Albert Yu was in the chat, I'm pretty sure he would say that the OnePlus 1.
Well, the OnePlus 3, I believe, got
got
Pie. Probably one device out of many that got Android Pie. But I mean, if you go back and I know what Android users say, we don't care about updates. Long as my phone works, I don't care about updates. Y'all can miss me with all them updates because updates slow down my phone. It bricks my phone. It makes my battery life bad. It makes the performance bad and stuff like that. And here's my answer to everybody that say that. You got to hold them accountable. Why would an update support to tear your phone up?
Exactly.
That you got to hold them accountable. Why the hell would you spend $1,400 on the phone and don't give a rat's ass about an update? Why? That to me is mind blowing. And people get on my ass about easy, you be tripping. Man, you gonna spend $1,500 on a one-hitter quitter? I don't understand that, man. And Android users, they fix in the mind that they don't care about updates. They say it kills your battery life. But listen, we got to hold them accountable. Period. Don't buy this shit. Don't buy it. If they don't take care of your device that you done spent your hard-earned money, don't buy it. Hold them accountable for it. If the Galaxy S10 don't take care of business next year, why would you buy a Galaxy S11? I don't understand that. If a phone company don't support their devices, why complain about it? That's one thing. And why buy the next iteration of their phone? Listen, I'm a tech reviewer. I get them and review them either way. But if I was an average consumer, I wouldn't buy it. Never. They would never see a penny of my money knowing that they don't give a shit about the customer. That's telling me F me, because I ain't gonna give you no updates. But people say, well, iOS, hey, what Apple bringing to the table? Well, they give you updates, they give you optimization. And listen, Apple have came out on record that they slow your phones down now. So they got some fault into some of this crap too. But at the end of the day, we got to hold them accountable. We the one that spit it out money. That's why I don't understand. Like, people get on my time easy. I don't worry about update. If I buy a $2,000 phone, it can run Android Nougat forever. I ain't never worried about it. Huh? $2,000? Come on.
Well, just to let y'all know, I had an S8. I had it for exactly 2 years. I think this is it right here. Yeah. And now I'm at the S10, but I also have y'all don't worry about that screen right there. But anyways, I also have a Note 8. LeBaron's going like this one. I got Note 8 on my second line. As a matter of fact, the Note 8 still runs like a champ, but for some odd reason, I like my Note 8 display better than my S10 Plus display.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Because the S10 Plus has a duggan booty hole in the front of the screen. That's why.
No. That doesn't bother me. But to me, that the Note 8 screen is like more brighter. You can see more colors and stuff like that. The thing I like about the S10 Plus is the camera is a big jump from the S8 Plus. A massive, like 3 times over big jump, because I'm looking at the S10 Plus camera. When I first opened the app up, I'm like, holy shit, I'm looking at this, and then I had to like go on the side and look at what I was pointing at. I'm like, damn, it looks better on the screen than it did looking at it with my 2 eyes with glasses on.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I'm just a regular, slightly above average consumer. Now for the Note 10, the plan was to go from my Note 8 to Note 10 this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
because my Note 8 is fine.
Yeah,
believe it or not, and I'm pretty sure LeBaron is loving this left and right.
Well, one of the things that I can tell you is that from all the stuff we've been hearing about the Note 8, everything we've been hearing about about the Note 10, everything, all the rumors, all the speculation, and I am not impressed. I think that this is going to be the first year that I am going to be disappointed at a Galaxy Note device.
No buttons. They're getting rid of the headphones.
Yeah.
But Easy, you said that last year too. You said that last year about the Note 9 before it came out. You're like, I'll be disappointed. I ain't gonna like it. But then at the end of the day, then here comes Christmas, and someone asks you, hey, what's your phone of the year? You're like, the Note 9, and I damn near had a heart attack.
Yeah, and you know what? And you and a lot of people that been watching my YouTube channel for a long time, some people hold my feet to the fire, and I am not immune to me being accountable also. What happened with the Note 9, I had that device, I fell in love with it, but I complained about it. Remember, I complained about the rattling, I complained about the premium pen, I complained about a lot of aspects of the Galaxy Note 9. And then when the Galaxy Note 9 got One UI, I gave up on that phone. That phone is probably the most slowest device I have right now. One UI took away Pro mode. One UI,
which makes it worthless.
What makes it worthless? One UI and a lot of different aspects of the Galaxy Note 9. If you running a OnePlus device in your hand, I even go back and say, if you got a Motorola G7 and look at the smoothness and the capability of those phones, and you pick up a Galaxy Note 9 with One UI, that phone just feels like a phone that something happened to it when they got One UI. I mean, I never saw a phone that's got so much lagginess in it, and the Galaxy Note 9 is a disappointing device, and it's unusable.
Well, this is the thing with me because I'm about to do it to this. I tried to rock this OnePlus Pro. I tried to rock it without skinning it, without putting a Nova launcher on it. I tried to, and I'm about to go ahead and unleash Nova launcher on it because I have not rocked without Nova launcher since the Note 3. I've had Nova launcher ever since the Note 3, and I adjust my interface accordingly. So with the Note 8, when it got One UI, I didn't notice it because I'm running Nova launcher. You know what I'm saying? I ran an update. It already had Nova launcher on there. So for me, I'm just and the reason I run Nova launcher isn't because of lag or nothing like that. I run Nova launcher because number one, Pi, the whole gestures thing is garbage. It's trash to me. I like to be able to set my phone up with the way I rock with it. I slide up to get to my phone. Little things like that. So that's why I rock with Nova launcher. So when I got rid of my Note 8, I honestly purely did not have any complaints on Android on Oreo. Okay. And when I got Pi, I didn't see, you know what I'm saying? And I guess it's because Samsung automatically adds so much into their software in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It brings up the whole aspect, and I talked about this at my live stream Saturday. I said this: I will review $1,000 phones. I would never recommend them no more. I am done. If somebody asks me, easy, would you recommend a Galaxy Note 10 ceramic bag for $1,700? The answer to that question is no. I said this Saturday, and I'm sticking to my ground, and people can hold me to my feet to the fire on this one. Well, all the good phones that's out right now, that's under the $1,000 price point, I don't even see the sense of paying over $1,000 for a phone. But I'm gonna review them. And people got the money and the means to do it. I ain't say, listen, I don't care what's in people's pockets. I don't care about that. You want to rock out, be a big baller, do what you do. But don't ask me what my recommendation would be. It would never be $1,000 phone. I am not recommending $1,000 phone to nobody. Look, Google and OnePlus and Xiaomi and all these other companies have proven that you can put the 855, 10, 12 gigs of RAM in a phone and all the speed and everything you need for $400 and $500 price points. And no way that I can see a phone that looks so gorgeous at that with that new phone that with fans in them and the beautiful body styles and everything in between. What's the difference between those phones and that $1,700 to $2,000 phone that got the word Samsung slapped on the back of it? That's my thing about it.
I'm in agreement with that.
No, the thing is, Samsung, Apple, I'll probably even throw in LG and Huawei too. They are names that are proven and have been around for a really long time. So that's what you buy. Like OnePlus just came in the game back at the end of 2013. Like for them to grow so big so fast to now is, I think there's something funky about that company. And we're now seeing it with the OnePlus 7 Pro. That they did something really, really funky to get where they are today, all because they wanted to make that quick buck. And to me, it seems like they put a mask on. They're trying to mask what they're trying to do. And whatever the hell they're trying to do is, at the end of the day, is really to make money somehow.
Right. So
you watch OnePlus 7, OnePlus, they're going to come out with $1,000 phone. I promise you they will.
Well, the thing about it is, here's the biggest question. Just say in 2019, we don't know the future. They probably will in maybe a year or so. But in 2019, if OnePlus can fix the software, enhance the cameras, which we heard that's coming, enhance the cameras, fix the software, the OnePlus 7 Pro, what is it missing?
The OnePlus 7 Pro?
Yeah, once they fix the software and once they fix the cameras, what's missing?
What is it missing? I'm to be 100% honest with you. To be 100 with you,
it's missing Carl Fine in the dress. That's what it's missing.
it's to be honest with you, the device itself ain't really missing much. It ain't. I don't. The wireless charging plus, I don't need it. It's not something that I miss. The headphone jack, it's like, but I'm going to have to deal without it because everybody's going to get rid of it, obviously.
Yeah, Note 10, buy a headphone jack.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, you can't really, I don't know what to say about that. But now, I guess for me, it's missing the S Pen. Like, if this device right here had an S Pen with it, I would probably be rocking with them hard. I would probably jump into the fanboy bandwagon. If it had an S Pen, I would. But a lot of people that don't use the S Pen and use the software connected to the S Pen don't understand it. You understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
And I'm sorry. I know TK keeps telling me, oh, you can hook it up to a monitor and all of that. I'm sorry. That DeX functionality is just one step for me. I just plug this bad boy up in there and I get to clicking with a keyboard and a mouse and I'm gone.
Well, you can do that with Stream Beam.
That's another app that you have to do. Is that another app?
That's all DeX is. It's just an app built into the phone.
Yeah, that's you can do that with Stream Beam. You can hit Stream Beam, plug it up to your TV or monitor, and you streaming your phone. And look, I understand that DeX takes it's a different UI, put it like that. Which you can always download a launcher to look like DeX.
Well, I mean,
So,
those are the things that I have to do to even really get this to work into my workflow. Because, like I said, I don't carry a computer. Like right now, I've been doing everything via the iPad because this don't have DeX. You know what I'm saying? So I've been using the iPad more than what I normally use it.
right. So let's get back into it because we're gonna get out of here in a minute. I don't want to be on this stream for 2-3 hours. Let's get back into WWDC because everybody they're gonna be watching replay crews say we did turn this into Android. Well, let's get back into Apple right quick before we get out of here. WWDC for everybody that's watching the stream, thumbs up, a thumbs down. What y'all think? Y'all think that Apple brought it to the table, or Apple need to go back to the drawing board?
I'm somewhere halfway in between.
And to me, I think that Apple just polishing the already optimized operating system. I just think that Apple just they're doing what they have to do. I don't look, man. You gotta think about.
They just shining the turd a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, and that's the only thing Apple is doing, man. They're just taking an already established operating system. They do not want to change iOS, guys. Here's the thing about iOS. You have a demographic of folks that love when they touch an icon, it opens. They don't want to be messing around with no widgets and changing home screen. Look, they just want it to work. iOS 13 cannot change nothing. They can add dark mode, that's fine. But I put it like this, like my mom, my parents, right? The iPhone and the iPad was the best thing I got my mom. The iPad, listen, man, my mom could, read her books and highlight her scriptures on the Bible. She played her. I mean, it's a dream come true for her to have that in her hand that she can iMessage. She can go on Facebook and watch us. She might be watching the stream, and that is powerful for my parents. Think about if iOS 13 just completely changed the UI. That means that I have to spend time with my parents and try to explain to them how things have changed. So iOS, it has a fan base of mom and pops, different demographics of people that love the way the operating system works. They love that they hit a button and it opens up, and it opens up fast and fluid. They do not want change. And the only thing that Apple can do with iPhones and iPads and stuff like that is to enhance the functionality, not change it. Just make it better. That's all they can do. And I don't think Apple will ever change iOS. Go ahead.
I can agree with that. I can agree with everything what you're saying. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's kind of the approach that Apple takes to everything. And then not only that, I guess my problem with the Apple is, the same problem that you guys keep saying about the $1,000 devices. Apple charges plus money for everything. It ain't not one thing. Like the Apple TV, when Emily was saying, do you guys use it? And I was about to say, no, I don't use it because I ain't spending that type of money for some set-top box.
Well, Baron, let's go back. Let's go back before Apple became a well-known brand, before the iPhone. Let's go back before the iPhone. Let's go all the way back to Macs. Apple has always been the most expensive company out there. If you go back into 1993, when the iMacs was out, those was already the $1,000 plus, and we talk about early 90s. Matter of fact,
13-inch screen, big
right,
body.
13-inch, and they had less than 1 gig of RAM in it. I mean, so Apple has always been a high-end company from the beginning. They never
but easy. They were bringing stuff to the table back then. See, I can't. That's the thing.
Not really. Look, Windows was killing them back then. The Apple was always catered to the high-end user. They was never catered to the average consumer. They was always catered to the high-end.
Yeah, I remember my first iPhone, the very first iPhone. It was only an AT&T exclusive.
Yeah,
and I had to pay $650 on contract.
On contract.
Yeah.
And that's how Apple was. Apple was never a company that gave you a cheap product. It was always you pay more, get less. That's how it's always been. It wasn't
No,
never.
but what I'm saying is it's always been an innovative product. You see what I'm saying? It's always been number one. It's always been a better quality. No one can ever question Apple's quality up until like the last 2 years,
Well,
maybe 3.
well, let's say no. Let's say you questioned Apple as a company after Steve Jobs died. Let's call it how we see it.
Right,
After
and
Steve
that's
Jobs
what
passed away, the company took a totally different aspect on how they run the company. Now, Tim Cook had got his feet to the fire now of quality control and different aspects of the company. Now he's still he getting it ain't like he's not getting blamed for all this.
Yeah, but that's why so you just got finished saying a minute ago that like if your device is not acting the way it's supposed to, we need to hold these people to the fire, right? Don't buy it. But that ain't gonna happen in Apple. Tim Cook knows that they got the ecosystem set up the way that they got it set up, where he knows that I only have to do a little bit because this one device, you're gonna buy it for it to work with the next device. You understand what I'm saying?
They are holding Apple accountable. I'm gonna tell you why. Look what's going on with Apple right now. You see $200 off on this, $200 off on that. They give you all kinds of Apple just dropping prices and giving all kinds of deals right now. You know why? It's because the average consumers period is holding Apple accountable. They're not buying. They don't have long lines like they used to be. Remember, every time they had an iOS release or iPhone release, people camped out for weeks and weeks and weeks. Well, they don't do that anymore. That means they are holding Apple accountable. They're not buying a product like they used to buy. So Apple have to come out with some more innovative things to try to, sweeten the deal a little bit. So that's why you start to see deals and discounts on iPhones and iPads. Think about this. When did we ever thought that we'd see the day that you could get an iPad for $299 brand new? I mean, they be selling brand new 6th generation iPad. It's like $329 in the store, brand new with pencil support. So with that said, Apple, we are holding Apple accountable. That's speak volumes right there. We are holding Apple accountable for the crap that they're doing for the last couple of years. That's why they're giving the deep discounts, cheap iPads, and all kinds of stuff in between. It's because we are holding them accountable.
But then they introduced a new Mac Pro, a new Mac Pro computer. What was that? A few weeks back, the new Mac Pro was a 15-inch.
Yeah.
Okay, they introduced that with the same exact keyboard that's been having a problem for the last 3 years.
Oh, that keyboard been redone.
That
keyboard been redone. They got slammed for the last keyboards that they had with the butterfly keys. No, the new keyboard. But here's the thing: Apple has gave people like lifetime replacements or something on their keyboard.
Right. So that's the thing. The new keyboard, the last teardown that I saw, they were saying that there were slight adjustments, but it's essentially the same keyboard, just reworked, the same technology, just a little rework, and it came out introduced on that same lifetime. So that's almost like saying, hey, okay, here's the keyboard. We still not 100% confident on it, so we still gonna give you a lifetime warranty because this might just go bad, just like the other one.
I mean, again, we holding them accountable. I mean, think about it. When did Apple remember when Steve Jobs said that you holding the phone wrong instead of?
I did
remember that.
Yeah, but that's when he was sitting on his last leg. He ain't have no other choice now.
Look, I'm not taking up for Apple. I just want to let everybody know I'm not taking up for Apple. I'm just saying that when we make statements about we holding companies accountable, yes, we are holding Apple accountable. That's why you start to see deep discounts. That's why you start to see $300 iPads. That's why you start to see lifetime warranties on keyboards. Because Apple would never do nothing like that, right?
Well, see, the only reason why Apple has done that is because on the back end, check out their service prices and stuff like that.
Oh,
All of a
like
sudden,
Apple
that's the problem with Apple. Apple will cut you here and be like, we're the greatest people in the world. We'll cut this and this and this for you. But then if you go look at something else that's coming out or has been there for a while, it's like 200% more. And you're going,
it's like Mr. Catwoman just said, they cut you, right? They cut you and give you a free doctor's visit, but then they're gonna triple charge you on the prescription.
Yeah, exactly. So like isn't Apple coming out with all these new services and stuff like that now with the newspaper and TV and all this other? See, I'm just saying, hey, Apple could cut where they want. Apple will cut their hardware because you know what? In the future is getting to the point where hardware is not the moneymaker.
Right.
It will be all about the software and services.
Software,
like even like all this autonomous
cars and
all this other stuff. All these people who are in manufacturing stuff like that, they're going to be losing jobs. The next frontier now is really services, like actual services to people, like software and stuff like that. But you know, I'm just saying, don't look at Apple and be like, oh, they're Hercules when they're not. You gotta look at the back end.
I agree with y'all guys 100% about that. Apple has to be accountable for what they do, and you know, I mean, I don't know. Let's see what Apple brings to the table. We got September coming up. You know, they coming out with their iPhone right after the Galaxy Note 10. So let's see what Apple brings to the table. And you know what? All this good stuff is good for the consumer. Because while Apple go drop $1,000, $1,200 phone, you're going to have Samsung right there go be dropping the $1,200, $1,300 phone. So they're going to be in the rat race together. So
I'm in more question of what Google does this year. To be honest,
Google trouble. The Google Pixel 3a is I don't know. You cannot come with the same design and slap an 855 processor with 4 gigs of RAM in it and charge you $1,000 for it.
No, but see, that's why I'm trying to tell you, Easy. I'm telling you, the businessman in me is telling me that Google is about to reset the market. Okay, everybody keeps calling me crazy when I say this, but I don't think Google came out with the 3A, all right, and put a headphone jack in it, all right, and they're not prepared to reset the market because it would be counterproductive for them. So I honestly think that Google is going to come back. They're reworking their old, you know, the Nexus way of thinking. They're going to come out with this 4 with premium, you know, with the premium processor. And I am thinking that they're going to add the headphone jack to that too.
What's the price point though?
But that's what I'm saying. I guarantee you, I do not think that this device is going to be over $800.
That would change the market.
And I think that's what they're going to do. That's because think about it. They got to steal the show some type of way. That's a way for them to steal the show. And as Mike was saying, Google's devices.
That's just Google is still Google. Like they're about to get their ass broke up. So.
I mean, I agree. It will ultimately change the market if the Google Pixel 4 XL, Google Pixel come out at a $599 to $699 price point. Yes, that'll go against the OnePlus. That'll demolish Samsung prices. That'll give heads up to Apple, say that, listen, people that want to leave your platform, they got a $600 price point for a premium hardware. Well, I don't know how premium. Look, the Google Pixels are ugly, so it ain't like it's gonna look like a Beyonce. But you know, but they can get stock Android at a $599, $699 price point. That would be nice. But I think it's gonna hurt more of the Samsung and the LG because the V50 at $1,200.
But see, you already know how Samsung's going to respond. Because come on, let's face it, the only people that pay the high prices on Samsung devices are the guys that buy it the first month. After that, they go tanking. I mean, they go tanking anyway. So I don't really even understand why people complain about Samsung's prices, because you only paying that if you're buying it on day one. And then even then, they're giving you everything but the kitchen sink to buy it. You know, this year 9 times out of 10, they're going to give you free air. What is it? Galaxy Bugs. They're probably going to give you a free wireless charger with it on top of it, especially if they got to compete with any other pricing in the market. You know,
they're probably going to take a book out of LG's book and give you a free toaster, a microwave, and maybe a TV.
Right. You know,
Well,
but y'all do know that this thing they call a flagship has just literally gone out the window now. Like the iPhone XR. Like you guys are like, it's a mini flagship or a mid-tier phone. No, the XR is a flagship, and watch what Apple will do this year. Apple is probably going to bring, especially after this WWDC or whatever the hell they call this thing, MLMOP. What they're doing with their software and making everything more integrated, where you could go from iPad to iMac to iPhone and stuff like that. That is very interesting to me. Very interesting. And also what's really interesting is that whole AR thing, which they seem to only bring out on keynotes, but they don't flip in talk about it the rest of the year, which makes no sense to me. But something's up. But watch, this year the iPhone XR is probably going to have a price point of $900, and that's going to be their flagship. The iPhone 11, they're going to call that a Pro Series, and that's going to be something that's like S-class, that's higher than a flagship. So watch what Apple will do. Apple's going to come with something.
Apple is going to lose their ass. Here's the only reason why I say I disagree with where you're coming from on that. Apple is becoming more a service-oriented company because, and I'll tell you why, they are seeing the writing on the wall. They got stagnant. Their sales continue to drop. They were still making money, but it's no secret that they weren't publishing numbers anymore because their numbers look really, really, really bad. So what's happening now is you're going to see Apple transition from, they're still going to make hardware, but it ain't going to be like it was in the past. Like this might be the last time that they make a phone that will be considered quote unquote the best premium, blah, 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 whatever feature packed phone you can think of, because they're going to focus on, or maybe they will still make really fancy phones, but what they're going to do is they're going to sell the phone for cheap, and then they're going to hit you with you can get Apple TV Plus.
Yeah,
Plus,
that's exactly what we were talking about earlier.
And you can get all of that included for $50 a month. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's how they're going to make up the prices of their iPhones, and they're going to discount the shit out of their phones. Watch what I tell you.
But you know what? Here's the thing. LB, think about this. If Samsung didn't give you $650 with a trade-in on a phone, would you think they'd be selling? Would be selling a lot of Galaxy S10s?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So if you take away what Samsung did last year and this year by them 600, they was giving you $650 off top for a phone. If they took away that, would you think that they would be even selling Galaxy S10s?
No, but that's what my point is, Easy. That's why I say everybody complains about the pricing, okay? But when you break it down on paper and you add these numbers up, you're not paying $1,000 for a Samsung.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But after the honeymoon stage is over, and they start giving you the $650 for the phone, then the phone retails still a little over $1,000.
You know, but by that time, they T-Mobile and everybody selling them buy one get one free.
Well, that's true. All right, look, we got to wrap this up. All right, because we'll be streaming up here live and the people to replay. Look, let's wrap this up. All right, at the end of the day, I really do appreciate everybody coming. Don't forget about Wide Wednesday. Well, we're gonna have the VIPs in the building, and we go dig deeper into all this Apple stuff, and we go hold them accountable as we do every time. We go hold Samsung, Apple. We go hold everybody accountable. So make sure you set your clocks for Wired Wednesday every Wednesday night, where we go hard, where we go in, and everything in between.
Eric, I'm going to try to see if we can get Al Sharpton to come on, because I think Al Sharpton needs to address Apple discriminating against black mode for the last 11 years. This needs to be addressed, man. I mean, They can't just quote unquote whitewash what they've been doing. They've had white mode for 11 years, and now all of a sudden, black mode matters, and that's not cool.
Right. I want to give a huge shout out to Emily D. Baker that came on the show. She did her thing.
Oh, Emily D. Baker, ESQ, because she's paid a lot of money for the ESQ. Gotta get that out there. ESQ.
I want to give a shout out to LB. That's always a member of the high class club, what we call, he part of the VIP. He go through it. I bet, look, they be on Twitter going hard. If you're not following us on Twitter, it goes down on Twitter. So y'all make sure y'all
just make sure that your batteries on your phone is charged all the way up.
And everybody know TK. Y'all know how to follow TK on the interweb. He's all over the place. He dropping his videos. He doing what he got to do, and much appreciated to TK. He doing his thing. And Mr. Catwoman, man, your wife is doing her thing. She coming on the show. She handle her business, man. It's always good. We got to get together on a Saturday night like we did before with all the fellas, and we could go hard, have us a good.
Hard? Oh, you want to go hard? I could go. If y'all don't know, check out the last live stream that I was on with 6 weeks ago. Yeah. We went at it for 4 hours. I kid you not, after the stream was done and over with, I could have gone for another 3 because I was so liquored up. But yes, anyways, you guys need to check out Wired Wednesday, #Wired Wednesday. The VIPs are awesome, especially Kimmy, Miss Ashley, my wife, Miss Catwoman. Honorary VIPs is LB, Tana So Lit, and TK too. So, oh my God, I'm easy. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on. Even though I didn't bring too much to the table, I'm just a regular average consumer. But I think WWDC, I think WWDC was I think it was a success overall, but they missed me with that $1,000 stand. But other than that, I think it was pretty good. Also, I think Apple's trying to go for the average. This is my final thought. I think Apple's trying to go for regular people to start coming on their platform. When I talked earlier about how everything's going to more software and services and stuff like that, and how the world is transitioning to something like that, because manufacturing seems to be going automatic and stuff like that. So it looks like Apple's trying to make it easier for people to get into the software game, which will make more money for them in the long run. But I'm just saying, because that Swift UI looks really nice, and I don't even know anything about programming.
So I want to give a huge thanks to everybody that came along the stream. We had a lot of people that showed up today. So thanks. If you're not following this YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And we will see you Wednesday. Don't forget to set your clock for Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we get down and we roll every Wednesday night. Thank y'all guys very much. This is Eric from Easy Computer Solutions. See y'all guys Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.